Hello again, Dragon Ball fans. I am not one of them, I just like funky vehicles. So Pop, Mart, and Gong have created this line of vehicles from the Dragon Ball franchise. I reviewed the House Wagon already, and now we'll talk about this capsule motorcycle thing. So here are the other vehicles. They are described in English as well, but I'm not going to get any of the other vehicles. If you buy this without, well, 10 years from now, with the box, you'll at least know how old it is. And it is safety approved, I guess. Okay. So, some tape. And the die-cast, part of it is die-cast, if you're into that kind of stuff. Me, I'm not really, because it's going to get paint rash later on. There's some desiccant, and it's not the same size as my last one because they're trying to even out the weight of these things so you can't guess what's inside. This is just a normal one. The Chase is this weird green robot. And yeah, I don't really care about the trading cards. It's a waste of cardboard for me. I am curious how heavy this is though, because it is metal. Low grade metal. This is 99 grams. Yeah, alright. So maybe 3 times the weight of a Hot Wheels. Well, as you can see here, without the actual top, it reminds me of a Honda Goldwing. A really modern Honda Goldwing. But we should probably look at it with the way it's intended to. So you do have this groove in the back and like a tab tooth in the front. So I think you got to get that in first. It's actually stuck behind the dashboard though. So, oh, well, it still worked. So you might want to glue that. I don't know. Or, well, if you're going to try to put a figure on here, it will be easier if you remove that. So I guess that's a smart design. The canopy itself is quite clear. I'm impressed because it's a dome, but it's well molded. Okay, and then the sides are obviously painted white, and there's this blue ID number on it. And then we have some rivets here in the back, and then a nice clear piece of plastic for the taillight. Granted, it wasn't clipped off the molding runner as well as it could have been, but it's better than paint, so that's nice. And also these are orange turn signal looking things. Again, clear plastic, so better than paint. Unfortunately, a little bit of staining there. And then all the graphics are tampo printed. They're not decals, they're not stickers, which would be even worse. And then we have a nicely gunmetal painted exhaust tip coming out, and it's recessed in the middle. This tire is really nice. Look at that tread. It looks really cool. It's actually facing the proper direction, I think. It rolls pretty well, actually. Well, actually, the thing can steer. So hold on. I'm going to try to roll this thing a little bit straight. It would roll if it balanced, but it's dragging the kickstand. Alright, well, anyways, the tires are pretty cool. Very neat. And speaking of the kickstand, oh, it can go up and down, so let me try this again. Now, well, obviously, you'd have to roll it pretty fast, I think, and somehow lock out the steering. Alright, let's see what else is on the bottom. So we have the copyright of the production studio that owns Dragon Ball, I guess. And then the front tire looks just as good. There's a little bit of play in the wheels, but that's fine. Yeah, so that kickstand is just plastic. I might as well put it back down. And then we have the foot controls there sticking out, painted like a silvery color. And then this frame is definitely metal here, just the blobbiness of it. It's not crisply done because it's die cast. But they did paint the silver very well. There's no overruns or anything. There's a passenger foot peg there folded up. And I don't know what that thing is, but alright, the fairing. I think this is plastic. That's fine. A little fastener, black for this intake there. The seat obviously is black. There's a little bit of a strap indication there. These vents here in the rear sphere is painted black, so that's pretty cool. What about this side? Is it symmetric? It looks pretty symmetric to me. So going into the cockpit, oh, look at that, my mirror. It's a sticker. It's literally a mirror, but the glue, not enough, so you might have to glue some stuff back. Let me come back. Okay, I did glue that back. You can see the instrument cluster is nicely done. Some painted in details there for gauges, so that's pretty cool. You do have the levers here for the bars, and they're connected to the actual front wheel. Alrighty. Oh, fuel filler up there is painted silver. So now the front, we have a few rivets there, and then we have a nice translucent headlight with some yellow behind it. Some Fresneling detail on the back side. It feels smooth on the front side. And then again, nice orange turn signal looking things. The axles are inset. The vents are recessed but still painted black. You got the paint of the forks there. Yeah, these vents up front are painted black, but they're not recessed. I gotta say, this actually is pretty well done, I think. Yeah, the fact that they got the black paint into those recesses is pretty impressive. And then the tires, again, they look really nice, and it rolls pretty smooth. And they really thought out the canopy as far as getting a character in there. Now, I gotta say, I don't have a character remotely like this thing. Here's a Mr. Bean 164, so this is way beyond that. Maybe it's like a 135 scale. Before I forget, we should probably dimension this thing. I would say the wheelbase is around 6 centimeters or 2.5 inches, in that ballpark if you want to compare it to full-size motorbikes. Obviously the rest of it's quite not even worth dimensioning because it doesn't look like a real bike. Here's these are 1/35 scale figures from the obsolete model kits, and so I am a little curious. Also, that tab scares me back there because the dash is trapping it. It's brittle plastic, I'm pretty sure, this clear stuff, so you gotta be really careful getting this out. Or just leave it the way it is. So will this character fit? I do feel like if it was posed differently, maybe a 1/35 scale would be okay. Yeah, so unfortunately, even though these things are riding positions, the body of this motorbike is so wide. It's actually in the back passenger area. Alright, well, I wonder if they intend to maybe release some figures to go with these vehicles in the future. It would have been cool. In fact, instead of that weird green robot for a chase, they should have just had a chase of all the characters that could fit these vehicles. That would have been a smarter thing to do. Alright. It's not my intention to collect Dragon Ball Z stuff, but here's the house wagon from the same collection. Clearly a totally different scale entirely, because that's a door. It's literally a house on a car or bus frame. But they're around the same size in the world that we're sitting in. So they're trying to balance out the cost of manufacturing, I guess, and also the weight, I suppose, to fit. So people can't guess what vehicle's inside the blind box. Alright, well, it's an interesting design, that's for sure. It looks like something like Sid Mead would have designed in the 1970s. Or, it looks like something that would be the first Blade Runner movie, which Sid Mead designed. Okay, well, thanks anyways for watching, and if they come out with some other vehicles I'm interested in, I'll pick those up. But I think for this Pop Mart collection, this is probably the end of the road. Thanks for watching. We'll see you